You won't see this new Straw Hat coming. The next Straw Hat member is. This is a theory that me and Ryoma on I'm D King Discord have been working on for most of the year now. Why Drake will join the crew. Okay, so the theory is this. Now I believe the Straw Hats will get 13 members in total. The 10th member will be Carrot and the 12th will be Vivi, but those are September discussions. This is how I see it working. Drake is a Marine undercover spy part of Sword. He, for reasons we do not know, was set into the Grand Line to build a reputation and join Kaido's crew. While in the crew he was passing info on to his partner Kobe. However, when he saw Law was captured, he again, for reasons that were left in the air, broke Law out, and eventually Hawkins put 2 and 2 together and saw that Drake was the culprit and set a trap for him where Queen tried to kill him. Drake escaped and saw the Straw Hats, and remembering what Kobe said about Luffy, he decided to ask Luffy if he could team up with them. One thing I noticed is how similar his introduction was to Robin. Now why do I think he will join? Well, because I think there's a lot of story left for him. I find it very strange that he is in Wano but doesn't do much of significance. Why have him here? In Act 2 he was very much present, walking around hunting the Straw Hats and freeing Law. He also had short fights with both the wings of Luffy. He fought Sanji in the capital and Zoro in Onigashima. But Zoro would eventually see for himself and trust Drake with the protection of Chopper. However, what really got me thinking is this. His lines to APOO and CP0. In his fight with APOO, APOO figured him out and made a deal. Let's just sit this fight out, and when it's done, you and I will team up and take the victor out and claim power ourselves. Drake immediately refuses, saying he won't let APOO harm Luffy. It's then later he fought CP0, which I believed was off-screened due to time issues. But when we cut back, CP0 mentions Drake put up a fight but lost. Later when he's leaving, they get a report that they have to take Luffy out on the roof, which means death for them. Drake, hearing this, gets up and says that he can't go down without accomplishing something, and stabs CP0 in the back, which ultimately accomplished nothing. When CP0 asks, "Why are you fighting so hard?" Drake says, "Because that's my justice." Why is he so focused on not letting PPL hurt Luffy? What's his interest? I think it comes from Kobe. Something Kobe said piqued Drake's interest in Luffy. Now he is a Marine and a member of Sword, but he cannot return to the Marines. As far as the government is away, he is still an enemy of the state, so he still can't just return to the Marines. He's stuck as a pirate, like it or not. For another Robin comparison, Drake has completely vanished since the raid, similar to how Robin vanished after Crocodile was defeated. Drake was last seen lying down on his back when Hawkins came up to him and revealed he, Hawkins, was the 1% man and died from his wound from Killer. Now maybe Drake was able to help him and Hawkins is alive, but I believe he's dead. I believe Drake's mission in Wano was to get into Hokkaido and to steal supplies. We are told at the start that it was Drake who attacked Otama's village, and we are never told why. Anyway, I think what happened was this. Drake noticed an odd lack of security around that beach, seeing how that's where Ace and his crew arrived in, and that's where Luffy and the Sunny ended up, and they never caught anyone's eyes on their way in. Drake began to use it as a port to smuggle weapons out to Sword, but reluctantly chased the citizens away so that they couldn't get word and that info would make it back to Kaido. He would also be a good replacement for Law, who is leaving, as Drake seems to be similar to Drake. I mean, even their backstories connect, as Drake's father was killed because of the actions of Corazon, but thanks to that Drake was able to escape his abusive father, where he would become a Marine under Sengoku. Drake and Law also seem to know each other. They don't seem to be friends, but they do know each other. When they were introduced, we saw Law asking Drake how many PPL he killed, and Drake seemed annoyed by this, but that exchanged was weird. Later Drake would freak out that Law was captured and would break him out. Also, like Law, he carries himself to be a strong stoic person who doesn't smile and poses like he's trying to look tough, but he's actually a nerd. In Act 2 he said he wouldn't go into the bathhouse as he would stand guard in case a pirate got out, but in truth he was shy, and when he heard noise he saw Nami naked and passed out. He would also see Sanji in his raid suit and ask Hawkins if that was Stealth Black from the comics about Sora. This could lead to a lot of interesting gags. There is also the rule of 3. Oda likes doing things in threes. He would be the third Straw Hat to sneak onto the ship. Robin, Carrot, Drake. Yes, I believe Carrot will also join. He would be the third to join for motives not to Luffy, but eventually he won over Nami. Wanted to rob them blind. Robin was just using them to get around. Drake working for Sword. He would also have a connection to Kobe. Kobe and Zoro became friends with Kobe just like Drake. Friends. He would also be the third supernova. Luffy, Zoro, Drake. Then there is the Zodiac theory. I believe the Straw Hats are based off of the Zodiac animals. Drake would be the dog, as the Marines can be referred to as dogs, but also he was abused as a child, starved, and left out in the cold and rain by his dad. He was treated like a dog. For reference, Carrot wouldn't actually be the rabbit, instead she would be a rat, because in the story the rat convinced the ox, Frankie, Sunny, to deliver it across the river. Rats are seen as tricksters and stowaways. Vivi would be the dragon, as she is a celestial dragon. Kobe and Zoro became friends with Kobe, just him kindness and respect, and hostile to those he doesn't trust. Again, when show how he wouldn't let APOO and CP0 interferes with Luffy. But it seems weird Drake was introduced and played a role but never really did anything. What role will he play? I believe his role will be to get the Straw Hats involved with the Sword storyline and will provide them useful information about the Marines. Plus he's a dinosaur, so the trifecta is complete. A robot, Frankie, a talking pear, Chopper, a dinosaur, everything a child wants, and Luffy is a child. Carrot will appear next week, which lines with the festival in Japan, as next week will be the moon watching festival, which involves the idea of staring at the moon eating mochi, and we should know that Japanese mythology talks a lot about rabbits on the moon. Drake will appear shortly after her revealing he snuck onto the ship as well, just like Robin. So I think Drake will join the crew.